Founded in 2000, Bulletproof is Australia and New Zealand's leading listed pure-play cloud services company supporting business, enterprise and government. The company continues to offer first-to-market services, launching the first VMware public cloud service and Managed AWS service in Australia. Please welcome their CEO, Mr. Anthony Woodward, to the stage to tell you more.
Thanks, everybody. I stand between you and drink, so I'll try and be brief. Hopefully won't get too thirsty on the way. Thank you for having me today. I just want to quickly give you a bit of a company overview, talk about our services and cover a little bit of our financials. For most of you, I would expect would be relatively new to the business, so it should be quite informative. So our snapshot, if from a point of view of our corporate overview, we listed at the beginning of 2014, so just about a little bit over 3 years ago now. Market cap's about $32 million as of a couple of days ago. And our shareholder register, you can see still some founders in there with some pretty major shareholding, but the majority is really retail. We have a little bit of institutional interest as well. In terms of where we started back in 2000, and I've got a bit of a timeline I'll show you. We're about 130 staff across Australia and New Zealand now, and we service over 700 corporate and government customers that we've picked up along the way. Probably the most interesting recent news is that we were singled out by Gartner as one of 20 global cloud managed services providers. So we're ourselves and one other local provider are the only two from the Australian market to be recognised among 20 global leaders in the space. Our board, we can go into some more detail later on, but this, by the way, this deck is up on the ASX, so if you want to get into more detail, just go to our website and you'll see it there. Our timeline, so we obviously started off in 2000 offering relatively generic managed services and pretty quickly moved into really the online hosting and digital space as the digital revolution started to pick up. And that led us quite quickly into this idea that we wanted to provide services to smaller and medium businesses, the kinds of stuff that the enterprises could do, but on a kind of timeshare or a pay-as-you-go basis. And those of you familiar with cloud would recognize that that's really the cornerstone of cloud, except back then it wasn't called cloud. So we like to think of ourselves as being a pioneer in the cloud space. And our launch back in 2006 of our managed cloud service was really an Australian first, and we were awarded a couple of times along the way for that. It wasn't too long after that we started to partner with some of the global cloud platforms, and Amazon is really the heavyweight in that area. They currently speak for about 40% of the global market for cloud services from a point of view of a platform. The next 25% of that market is garnered by probably the next 15 competitors. So it gives you an idea of how much further ahead of the curve they are. Coming to Australia in 2012, they wanted a local partner that could help them reach businesses, because going into the Amazon website is kind of like walking into a Bunnings store and saying, I'd like to build a house. There are thousands of parts. Which pieces do I need? How do I put it together? How do I keep it working? So really our approach was to be the guide, the consultant, and the people who could make sure that the light stayed on once customers started to put their workloads onto the Amazon cloud. So that's really where we started with Amazon. We're still the region's largest and most influential partner with Amazon, and we are recognised year on year as being so. We're an Australian and New Zealand only premier consulting partner with Amazon. That was joined later on last year by our services on the Microsoft Azure platform, which is probably the runner-up in the space at the moment, and moving very quickly, growing very quickly, and obviously able to tap into that known and existing enterprise relationship that Microsoft has with almost every business in the world. So we see ourselves as growing quickly there, and you can see that line is really our revenue growth trajectory over the years. So the sort of services that we offer, really a business comes to us somewhere in their journey to the cloud. Either they're thinking about going, they've gone and it maybe isn't working very well, or they're there and they'd like to make the most of it and do better. We can help them at any stage along that way with a consult, deliver and support model, which really says, how do you get there? What's the best design? We can get you there and build it, and then we can manage it for you on an ongoing basis. And we do that on a upfront fee basis for the project work and a recurring revenue basis for the ongoing work. And our recurring revenue is about 80% of our revenue base at the moment. Some of our key customers are listed here, and obviously we've got a few case studies which you can find on our website that talk in more detail about some of these customers. There's actually some press today about a Victorian department that we helped move to Amazon Cloud late last year, and that's on the CRN. So if you follow the IT space, you'll see the details about that there. Quickly going into our financial results, we've obviously grown very quickly over a number of years. We've had some acquisitions in the last couple of years. This last year, or the last 6-month period, has really been a period of consolidation, of working through getting some of that profitability to the bottom line, and you can see that there's a posted loss there, but we're still on target to hit a full year, relatively robust revenue and profitability growth, which implies a pretty strong turnaround growth story for the second half of this financial year. There's more detail there online as well. From a point of view of what is our strategy moving forward, we've actually, throughout the last 6 or 8 months, we've actually completely refreshed our professional services offering, because although we launched our professional services offering at the end of 2014, in the space of 2 years, the market has moved on pretty quickly as to the kinds of services that they want to actually get from us as they migrate to the cloud. So we've had to really rebuild our professional services offering and the way we deliver it and the methodology around delivering that. So that's been completed. We've now started to bring some additional value-added revenue models to our recurring customers, such as things like cost optimization that helps them get the most out of their cloud platform. I spoke before of our Microsoft Azure launch, and we now have, as a result of Microsoft being in the mix, we have a multi-cloud approach, because most customers, and I'll talk to this a little bit in a moment, most customers actually think about their move to cloud in the context of, I will be going to multiple different clouds for different parts of my workloads. And so you really need to have that cross or multi-cloud capability to bring to the picture. Most importantly, our management team is utterly focused on delivering to the bottom line, and we can start to see that flowing through in the second half of this year and beyond. So our guidance that we actually put out into the market with our last set of financial results shows revenue around 54 mil, which is about a 14% year-on-year growth. Underlying EBIT growing pretty strongly as well as underlying EBITDA. What's the future opportunity for cloud actually look like now? This is a pretty interesting slide, because this right scale state of the market comes out every year, and this is the most recent one. I talked before about multi-cloud. Look at the percentage there of customers that are looking at multi-cloud as their strategy as they go to the cloud. It's the vast majority. And although you can't read all of the details, the list of reasons that people are going to the cloud has actually changed a lot in the last 2 years. It was very much a cost-saving play, and now the reason that customers want to go to the cloud is they want to be able to do things more quickly than their competitors. They want to be more agile, and they want to be able to deliver new products and services to their customers. They've been constrained and restrained by their internal IT for too long in most cases, so they really need the cloud to help them rebuild the way that IT is delivered into their businesses. And so what we see is the real opportunity is customers who want to go to the cloud need a partner. They need a local partner, and if we would have really put ourselves in a niche, our niche is that we are the Australian-New Zealand leading partner for customers wanting to go to both local private and global cloud platforms. So this is our contact details. I'm going to bring it in early for you and get you to drinks about a minute and a half early. Please ask me questions after the presentation, and thanks very much for your time today.